So the experience of doing these Gary Stevenson videos has been very interesting, and as of now, the original video that I posted about Gary Stevenson has got 620 views and it's got 4 likes. But it's got 12 dislikes, so it's actually been radically unpopular. And I'm really trying to figure out like what the reason for these dislikes is. Is it fans of Gary Stevenson, and just because they love Gary so much, they're trying to bring me down in the algorithm and trying to stop this message from spreading? Could it even be that Gary Stevenson himself has seen the video and his team with all their YouTube accounts and so on, they're trying to bring me down in the algorithm to try and protect the level of publicity that they've managed to achieve, their like level of social dominance, if you like, on social media, and they're trying to bring me down in the ratings? Or is it because people are sycophantic for the rich and they're fawning over rich people? And I know that there's a huge amount of people out there who are just desperate to get rich, and they're desperate for money, and they worship money and they worship rich people. And Gary Stevenson is a rich person, so they worship him. And yeah, I get it, because like it kind of links in with these people being fans of Gary Stevenson and disliking the video for that reason. And I do get that, because a lot of people will be watching Gary Stevenson's videos in the hope of getting trading advice and in the hope of getting advice that's going to make them into a rich person like he is. And a lot of people would have bought Gary Stevenson's book because they would want to get advice or insight into the trading industry, the investment banking industry, and how they can be like him. But the thing about Gary Stevenson is he's a maths prodigy. You know, I'm not a maths prodigy. I have to try and make money writing somehow, because the only thing I'm good at is, well, not the only thing I'm good at. I'm good at lots of things. I think, really, if I'm fair on myself, but the main thing I'm good at is writing and speaking. And I'm quite good at putting together organized, coherent arguments, and I'm quite good at analysis. And I'm actually quite good at maths if I really put my mind to it, but I'm nowhere near as good at maths as Gary Stevenson is. He's a maths whiz, a maths prodigy. He was born into a poor background, and he had incredible talents, and he was incredibly lucky for that reason. He's earned lots of money, and you know, great for him. We all love the story of someone from a poor background becoming rich. But you know, whether you're from a rich background or from a poor background, if you're taking too much money out of the system and sitting on it, then that acts as a detriment to the rest of the people in society. And what is true of a rich person is as true of Gary Stevenson, you know, because, well, he's a rich person still. It's just true of any rich person. If you're taking more than GDP per capita out of society every year in for your income, then that means someone else can't have the money. This is very, very simple stuff. It's not complicated. But yeah, it's not complicated economics, but it's no less the truth. And I'm sorry that so many people are butthurt about it. I'm so sorry that, and I think it is right wingers as well, probably disliking it, or a combination of all these different things. And you know, a lot of people on the right have this idea. They just hate socialism, and they hate anything to do with socialism, and they hate the idea of anything other than unfettered capitalism. And there's lots of anarcho-capitalists out there who would want uh, yeah, no state at all, really, but somehow capitalist institutions. And the only thing I could imagine that would constitute is just corporations running the world, which would be essentially like Blade Runner. And that would be a corporate hell on earth, where the overwhelming majority of people are subjugated under employment to these institutions. And I don't know like what sort of thing would happen. But this has got me excited, because I think like what I'm doing has pissed people off, at least. I wrote a little poem earlier and it was just called Truth. And the poem goes like this: the truth is never popular. And it isn't. That this is the really big problem. If you think about the great advances in science, when like someone has come up with the truth, for instance, Copernicus coming up with the model of heliocentrism, this idea that the sun is at the center of the solar system and the earth isn't, and that geocentrism is wrong, that took hundreds of years to be accepted. Fast forward a few centuries to Charles Darwin and the theory of evolution, even though, the theory of evolution had antecedents going back to ancient Greece, and a lot of philosophers have recognized the similarities between different animals and so on. But Darwin did come up with evolution by natural selection, and the backlash he received for that is still going on today. And it's become accepted eventually, but highly unpopular. It caused outrage at the time, and it still causes outrage and heated arguments with people of subnormal IQs who happen to be adherents of Christianity and think that the earth is 7,000 years old. And I'm not trying to slam all Christians, because like a lot of Christians are intelligent and they do believe in evolution, but still a lot of people don't believe in evolution by natural selection, and that is just the way of things. And like any kind of radical new idea that seeks to say something like what I'm saying, or the truth in general, I think the fairest way to organize society is for everyone to be paid the same amount of money. Yeah, highly unpopular, huge backlash, even I suspect from a lot of people who don't have very much money. And I don't think it is just rich people getting on my YouTube account and disliking the video to try and bring it down in the algorithm. I suspect, actually, mortifyingly enough, it's quite a lot of poor people who fawn over the rich lifestyle and adore that and just really want to live it more than anything else. And, say any idea of wealth redistribution is the politics of envy, and it is not the politics of envy. I don't envy rich people's lifestyles. I want a nice, comfortable life, a small, lovely house somewhere with all my books and my garden and my dog and whatever else I want. That I want to be able to afford a fucking dog. I've lived in poverty for years and years and years. I live on £9,600 a year, whereas median income is £39,000 a year. And I've had my employability limited by long-term mental health problems, which have been exaggerated by the system. I've had my basic rights undermined and subverted, and I've lived a meager, austere, impoverished life. And no one wants to live like that. That is just the truth. But it is the truth for millions of people in Britain. And likewise, millions of people in Britain enjoy opulent lifestyles. And I don't think that should continue. And Gary Stevenson is currently part of the problem, unfortunately, and that's just the way it is. So if you're a huge fan of Gary, if you fawn over Gary fucking Stevenson and think he's like some god or some hero or some savior figure, I'm afraid to say he is just a human being, and he's a human being with his own caprices and his own flaws and character flaws, and he's in danger of becoming a hypocrite if he isn't one already. And I'd love to see the next video from Gary, and I'd be very interested to see if he's seen any of my videos, because I think it's quite likely he has done, actually, because his team is probably, Googling around and YouTubing around and finding out what people are saying about him so that they can, concoct the next Gary video and for it to be on point and on message and so on. And yet you may well have seen it. I don't know. But likewise, like, I'm in the fucking right. I'm telling the truth. That is the truth. If you earn over GDP per capita, you are taking money away from other people. That is the truth.